All right. Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, hello. You are joining myself, David from Red Wagon Dioramas, and the amazing Nate from Carbonite Creative.
Carbonite creative. Amazing, I'm not sure, but nerd nonetheless.
Hey, man, you do
Hey,
some awesome stuff.
thanks. You too. What's going on?
Not much. I've been wanting to get together with you and do
Yeah.
something like this for a while now.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time. I've also been avoiding it because my office has been a disaster, and it took me almost a good 6 months to get it cleaned up to where actually I could do this stuff. I had to
I've
let
also
some
been
stuff
avoiding
go.
it because my office has been a disaster. And
took me almost a good 6 months to get it cleaned up to where actually
what?
I could do this stuff. Oh,
Oh, hang on. I had a feedback loop there. All right.
oh,
I think we're good.
okay.
Sorry, you were saying your office been all messed up, and now it's
Yeah. No, I had to let probably about 50 dios go so that I could walk in here because I just kept making stuff, and then I had to learn how to contain my space. We'll just say that, because I'll be like, oh, what's awesome is building Felucia, and then next thing you know, it's across your desk and your table, and you have no place to put it.
Yep. I know what that's like. You're,
S-
now,
yeah,
one question I get a lot from people when they see my stuff, they ask me if I sell it, and I
yeah,
don't sell mine because I don't make enough. I make it for myself for my collection.
yeah.
But you do sell pieces, right? You,
Well, I have in the past. I kind of stopped, honestly,
oh,
when
you do.
I was, this all started during the pandemic. And we've talked about that before, where I literally had nothing to do. And I was sitting here, nobody knew what was going on. I'm like, well, if the zombies are coming, let them come when I'm holding a Darth Vader figure. If I'm going out holding the TIE fighter. So I just started doing it. And the early, we've talked about it, like my platform's Instagram, and yours for the moment is YouTube. And so I just
Right.
started posting these little things, and you know, go back a couple of years through the feed, and you'll see some catastrophes of me learning how to use like a hot glue gun and all those things. But it was really fun to ramp up, and as we ramped up, I got more followers and made more connections like you, and more friends. And so really for me, it turned into more of the just making friends and having fun,
Yeah.
being a having somebody that wants to hear about this stuff.
Speaking of that, we have a friend just commented, Mr. Greedo 737
Oh, well,
is watching and says, "Hello, boyos."
I've been working on some stuff for him today. So,
Yeah, you guys have a giveaway going, right? Did you,
well,
did
we,
you
yeah, I mean, we do. It hasn't
poorly? Okay.
successful, I don't think, as we had hoped, but
Yeah.
he's got some side projects that he's asked me to help out with, and of course, I am more than happy to do it. So that's kind of been it, and just ramping up and getting ready for Obi-Wan.
Oh
So
yeah.
I mean,
That's good.
I can't sleep. I'm still like, come on, come on, come on. So I'm doing the whole, Thursday crackhead waking up at 1 o'clock in the morning to watch it. And I've got some fun stuff kind of going on.
My wife has a medical thing that day that I have to help her with, which is fine. It's routine. But I figured I'm just going to take the day off. I took the day off from work because Obi-Wan's coming out.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
a long weekend to make it a 4-day weekend.
Totally. Like this year, as I went back to work for the pandemic, it was like that got locked out, and then I was thinking about celebration, so I took a few days off there, but I'm not going. And then yeah, basically like May the 4th, I gotta do stuff then, I can't. So um yeah, that's it.
Yep. Um,
So what kind of projects and things are you working on right now? What are you doing? What do you got going?
boy, I like I was telling you earlier, I've been so busy just with life in general. I haven't done too much with my dioramas lately. Um, one I've got behind. I've had it back here for ages now. Is that indoor bunker back there?
Oh, I saw your video where you were sanding it and trying the layers of primer, but I don't think I've seen the finished thing yet.
It's not finished.
Oh,
I just put another coat of paint on it last weekend, and I got to get the airbrush out and try to do some shading with it. I've only done airbrush once,
Uh,
so and part of my problem is I don't have a good setup for it yet because
yeah,
I don't have a good ventilated space, and that I tried it in my main room, and it's just no, that's not good. You got to
yeah,
have a fan set up.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that's my next thing is I want to do an indoor setup, and I'm hoping this year that Hasbro puts out some more Ewoks and some more Return of the Jedi stuff. So I want
yeah.
to have a good
Just
setup for
that
that.
one Ewok is a little hard to like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what about you? What's something you've been playing with lately?
Well, so as work started ramping back up, I stopped kind of selling and stuff just because I didn't have the time and I didn't want to commit to something that I couldn't do, And so I just started making stuff for myself that would fill my little collection. Next thing you know, I think just turned into like a Mandalorian shelf. And in the beginning stages of all of this, that's kind of I think what I got known for on Instagram was like the minute that the episode would come out, like I'd watch it at midnight and I'd run downstairs at like 4 o'clock in the morning like a crackhead and like make make one of the worlds or something. And so I have been kind of just finishing that up. And I've started playing with some custom figures now. It's just something I've always kind of been not nervous about doing, but there's a lot of people that do it out there that I've supported that do it a lot better than I do. But it's kind of fun to learn. Um, I did do a custom Pelimoto, and I didn't show that because it looks like a zombie. So I'm learning faces.
Painting faces is so hard. It's
I'm
so
like,
tough.
that's not what it looked like on the YouTube channel I
Yeah.
watched do it. But I did just do a Reva I'm working on for Kenobi, and she's turning out really kind of great and exciting.
What did you use for a head sculpt for that?
So I used, hang on, let me see.
Yeah.
How do I, hang on, how do I do this?
You should have a settings button to switch your camera around.
Yeah, I should. Hang on. Yep. Hang on.
Bear with us, guys. We're figuring out
Yep.
StreamYard here.
All right. Yeah,
There
no,
you go.
so here she is so far. I like the little pompadour. I think that I sculpted that today, but I'm using and I do have to rework her face, but I'm using this. And a bunch of people recommended it. Shuri from
Oh, okay.
and
Yeah.
I don't know what all this other crap that came with it is, but yeah, I think that it's gonna work and I'm excited about it. And I did a little thing the other day. I don't know if you I don't know if you know him, Boyle Harley. I'm sure I'm saying it wrong. Boyle Harley time.
Oh, yeah. His channel's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. So
It's
I
his
started
videos. Yeah.
playing with the lighting up stuff and lightsaber stuff from that. So I'm trying to do like illuminated lightsabers for my shoots now. And so that's just the kind of I'm learning how to wire and solder without burning the house down and that kind of fun stuff.
So I've only played a little bit with lights, and I'm okay with soldering. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
But I don't understand the electrical, as far as the brightness of the lights. And I know some people throw resistors in there. And I mean, have you
Oh,
learned about that stuff yet, or are you kind
yeah,
of
that's level 10. I'm at
okay?
like a 0.5, but what I have done, there's a few things, and I'll send them to you, because I had to kind of find these. Hang on. Um, I had to kind of find what would work, and I think that mostly 3 and 5 volt things work. So, like, I found these on Amazon, and they just have little watch batteries in them,
Yep.
negative and positive feed, and it works with like anything from a 3 to a 5 volt LED, whether it be a filament, which this is what this is. It's a small filament. I can't find the larger ones. Boyle.
Is
Uh,
that one wired up? Can you fire that? Can you turn that
yeah,
on, or is
yeah.
it?
Hang on. Hang
Show
on.
us what it looks like.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you get some good light off of it, and I did.
Oh,
It's a little short, but like you could pose it, differently for to kind of catch what you need to. I have something I'm trying. There are soft ones that you can wire up, so I'm trying those. They're a little bit longer, so I'm trying that so I have something ready for the for the Kenobi series. But yeah, so it's really fun because I want to like redo like Hoth, but I want to do which I've done Hoth before, but I want to do Hoth Rogue One style, where Darth Vader is just like slashing, people up, as like plowing through it. So that's one of my next projects I'm working on.
Did I was gonna say, what else did you lit up recently? Oh, you had your table, right? The clone.
Oh, I did a Rebel Base Build, who's another fantastic channel that I've been watching, and they're like a part, like him and Whitey's Workshop are friends I've made through Instagram. I didn't really even realize what they do, but they're building like legit Star Wars rooms. So I'm like, oh, look, I've got a cool Star Wars room with all my figures and little dioramas and stuff. But no, like you walk
Light
into,
size.
yeah,
Lights.
and like the doors
Yeah.
are automated and open up. He even has like a working IG unit that he built. Like these guys are like should be working on movie sets. While I try to paint a face on a figure. um, but yeah, so Rebel Base Builds has a Patreon page, and he does these amazing 3D prints. And he did one of a table. We were talking about doing a collab. And originally I wanted to do the N1 Starfighter, the scrapped version, and that entire hangar. But then as I was scaling it up, I'm like, none of my shelves behind me can hold it, and it would just be one more thing that's sitting
Yeah.
on the floor. So I opted for the table. But he has tons of really cool little greeblies and things that you could use for dioramas. And then he also provides like the buttons if you need to make it, your Star Wars wall work.
That's amazing. I've seen some of those guys. Yeah, they have their whole
Yeah.
their whole room is all Star Wars. And there's groups for that. It's amazing.
And I like, as I watch those channels, I'm like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to not do it. But I because it's kind of funny. I was doing back in the early days, I did a live stream with old Architect Customs, and he's one of the guys that I get a lot of my clone figures and stuff from. Like he like molds them, and not just repainting figures. Like he's really kind of great. And like Greedo does his droids that was
Yeah.
saying earlier. And I spent a lot of my early pandemic money on on those things, and we were kind of just laughing in a live stream at one point in time about how they do what they do versus what making little Star Wars walls and stuff. So but really great, funny, talented guys, and so they've kind of inspired me to start trying to do some of my own figures and just for like the photo shoots. And so that's kind of really what I'm into now is shooting toys and then trying to recreate scenes that maybe other people don't have or don't think about or don't think is important enough to, not that it's not important enough, but I like going by and catching that one thing where like Mando walks around the corner and there's this cool room that you don't really notice, and creating that
Almost like the B-roll that you have to fill out the scenes in the shows. Like you're on the ship with the Quarren and those guys, just kind of hanging out on the deck of the boat.
yeah
Yeah, it's
yeah
cool scenery.
yeah yeah. And and then plus just getting frustrated really with, I collect Black Series. I think you do too. And
Yeah,
during the pandemic I started, I've always been a fan, but I stopped really collecting, and I started collecting 3.75 carded, and I was like, well, what am I going to collect? I'll go back and I'll just get, because I had like kind of everything as a kid. I'm like, I'm going to go back and get all the stuff that I couldn't get when I was a kid. Like I never got, Wicket carded. I never had like, the B-Wing fighter. There's a few things I didn't get. And then as I was going through and like looking at those things on eBay, I'm like, I can't afford any of this stuff. And then I got my first Black Series figure, and I was like, wow, Biker Scout is big. And then
what was is that what it was? A Biker Scout? Is that
yeah, that was my first.
That's a great figure.
But what I was going back to saying is, on the live stream, I'm sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. But when I was talking with OAC, and he's really like a Clone Wars generation kind of thing, and I'm like, I'm not buying a clone, I'm not going to do it, because you can't just buy one clone, right? You're not shooting a picture of one clone. How lame is that? I mean, people do, and it's fantastic, but I'm saying like, and I was like, I'm not doing it. And I bought one, and now I have behind me an entire wall full of like clones, and I still don't have. So you know, that's why I'm like, I see those people doing like helmets, and I'm like, well, it'd be kind of cool to do life-size helmets. I'm like, don't do it. You don't have the shelf space.
I got my bottom shelf with helmets. See them down there on the floor?
Hang on, I'm having problems seeing you again. What
Oh,
is?
you can't see me down there?
Sure, I hit
There.
something wrong. Hang on.
Anyway, yeah, I've got 5 or 6 of the Hasbro helmets. I've got the Boba Fett one, the Stormtrooper, and Luke, of course.
Oh, yeah,
But yeah, they're kind of fun. They're fun to play with, but honestly, they just sit there too. But I didn't want to have figures down on the floor, so you can't see them down there. So it was a good place to put a helmet. So
yeah. No,
fits good on the bottom.
I would have them, but I'd have I'd start doing like a million clone ones, and they'd just be all over the place, and I'd have just more collecting dust. So I try to keep it like tight, and I try to keep it with only figures that like I really, really, really kind of have to have, or I try to make it myself. But one of the things where I started doing the figures, or trying them at least, I should say, was just because you couldn't create some of the stuff that Black Series, is just still releasing stuff from Return of the Jedi. Like, really, we're just getting a bib for Tuna now. You didn't think we needed that, So
did I ever show you my custom bib that I made?
No, I'm gonna see it
because that was a character I had to have, and so I actually made a custom. Where is he?
Hang on, let me see. Up there, yeah. Let me see.
You can see me, right?
Yeah.
So, where's the camera? So,
oh,
that's my custom bib Fortuna. That's a pair of brown denim jeans.
Fantastic. Well, it worked.
And I sculpted his base plate out of the green stuff, the kind of putty clay. Sculpted his gauntlets. The figure is a Emperor Palpatine figure.
Oh,
and he's got the pointy fingers. I wanted him to have the pointy bib Fortuna fingers there.
Yeah.
And so
that's fantastic.
And then the head I bought from Outer Rim Traders and painted that up. But that was a big challenge for me. My first big, challenging custom was this guy. Yeah. But that was exactly it because Hasbro wasn't making them, and I had to have them for the job shelf.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I mean, so that's kind of what I've been doing, and I started just doing little small stuff like the little dude from hang on, let me show you. See how do I do that? How do you work this thing again?
I know it's a little awkward with the cell phone.
I'm to the well, first of all, I'm not technically savvy. Let's just get that straight.
Hey Nate, I'm gonna take a sec. We got some comments too. We got Alejandro watching, says hello, and we got Kelly down in New Zealand, who's a guy that he makes dioramas too, and so he's watching with his kids.
Hi,
so thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, awesome. I hope that we're not boring you.
This isn't boring. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's an old off-world Jawa that I kind of like kit bash. So there's like a couple of pieces of like a droid for the faceplate in there, and I just did like a Yoda cape and I recut it out with muslin. And then I started kind of just doing, little accessories and tinkering around with that. And then
you must go up to Mando again. You must really love that piece. That looks like you put a lot of love
I like I said, I realized like how I'm obsessed because every single thing that I really do is become the Mandalorian. And I mean, I love Star Wars, but something about this just got me crazy, really.
I love that one.
Yeah, and so I just like that's a custom from OAC because I need to do a shoot, and then there's the Uncle Fester one from Black Series, and he did he made me a cob.
Great.
And so I've just been making all these, like I did a Frog Lady challenge with David Whitey, and actually so Vader bought the Ice Spider diorama that kind of went with it.
Oh, the one you had in the hot tub in the ice cave.
Yeah. And actually kind of just lit up and stuff. And so I'm like most of these light up now. That's my new thing that I'm kind of playing with is the lights, and like my little Ahsoka down there. She has little stubby lightsabers that light up. And so this is really kind of just become what I'm doing. Like this was my main wall because I wanted something cool when I'm like working, from home or whatever, to be able to look at and be like, it's all going to be okay. Don't worry about it. The Force is with you,
When things are stressful, you can avert your eyes and gaze on the
exactly.
Mandalorian.
Whenever real life starts like, getting you down, I just look over there. So So that's really kind of what I've been doing. And then I just started building like these little ones that kind of like go in my bookshelves that kind of make you feel like they're just like peeking out, because I had to have some real life in here at some point in time that isn't just all
Yep.
bios. And then this is my figure wall, and some of them are, I do have stuff kind of stashed. Like these are a lot of my customs I just couldn't display. I had too much stuff to do. And then these are basically things that are at some point in time probably going to be converted into a dio. I have like 3s and 4s of some stuff. And so it's really just kind of been like, what do I want to, build this time? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, here's a question for you from Kelly. He says, what was your most satisfying build and why?
Well, my first Hoth that I did was my most satisfying build, I think. And I had it down on one whole shelf, and it was easy because it was just foam and you just carved the little markings and stuff in it. And I mean, I love the Empire Strikes Back so much. Like, I'm an original trilogy boy, of course, so that was been my favorite. And then the other one is the Mandalorian walking through like the meat locker thing. That's kind of
I
become
love that one.
yeah, just because I feel like a lot of people didn't have it, and I just thought that was such an awesome scene. So those are my favorites. Those are ones I
Yeah.
probably I wouldn't part with. The Hoth one had to go and make room for some other stuff.
Yeah, I'd have to say for me, my most satisfying build, I think it's got to be my Dagobah. My Yoda's hut.
I love it.
And it's right there behind me for those of you guys who haven't seen it. If I can get a little closer. Sorry, I'm on the laptop here, so there it is.
Yeah, I love it. Does that lid come off, and is there stuff? There's stuff underneath it, right?
Oh yeah, it's based on a model kit from the '90s, so it's plastic.
That's right. I saw that video you did. Yeah.
So I've got Luke and Yoda in there in the interior, and then it's awesome. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen, I did a 2-part video on how I built all that on YouTube, and I think that was my most satisfying because I love the scene. I'm a big original trilogy for me as well, and always loved Dagobah, and I got to challenge myself trying some new things when I built it. I had never done 2-part epoxy for like water and the leaves and the trees and everything. Very organic. It was just a different experience for me. So it was a lot of trial and error, and I really love how it came out.
Yeah. Yeah, I did one. It was my first epoxy too, and I didn't read the I got the mixture wrong, but the water looked fantastic. Just you couldn't like drop a figure in it. Multi-stormtroopers were killed during that bad resin setting. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah. I'll show you a few more of mine behind me since we're doing a little show and tell here.
Love it.
Bear with me. Oh, there's the Rancor. There he is.
Daddy misses you.
For those of you guys who don't know, is I bought that Rancor off eBay, and it was someone who lived near you. It was in Nate's neighborhood. So I just called you up or texted you and said, hey, you want to help me out with something?
And I was like, yeah, absolutely. And it was literally right around the corner. And I drove there, and I was like, all right, let's just make sure this isn't like a shady deal, and you were like, text me if everything goes well. And they were really nice people, and they walked out with it. And I was like, but wait, I kind of, they were like, thank you, because it was in the heart of the pandemic. They were like, have a good day.
I don't want to talk to you.
But I want to come in if you have stuff like that, and you live around the corner from me, but we could be friends. They're like, have a nice day. Bye.
Oh, man.
So,
anyway, I want to thank you again for doing that for me.
My pleasure.
It was awesome. Yeah. Hey, look, I got my Razor Crest up there too.
Ooh.
That thing is fun. Have you seen one in person yet?
I haven't. No.
I don't really collect TVC. I have some, but I don't, and I don't display them. But I love the ship. I love the design from the show, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm buying it.
Yeah,
it's an amazing.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
I got my Vader helmet over there, but let me show you if I can reach here. So I got my Ice Spider cave there.
Ooh, great.
That's my custom made, like it's mostly paper mache and like an old Halloween spider that I cut up for the legs.
Excellent.
It's just crumpled paper in there right now for the ice. I have to do a better background. But then, above it, I've got basically my Mandalorian shelf And there's actually a lot of figures missing right now because I had them back at my house.
Uh,
But I've got this awesome custom blurred. I love
yeah.
showing this thing off. It's
Yeah.
a
Rad.
Facebook friend of mine named Gary made that, 3D printed, painted it up. And then I got some of my bounty hunters here. Gamorrean on the throne there. And then I got, an Imperial shelf just with a bunch of troopers.
Yeah.
And then this is one of my favorite scenes. Just
Oh, yeah.
Our main heroes, sneaking through.
I love that you have all these old original trilogy.
Yeah. I'm not really a Clone Wars guy. Like my Clone Wars shelf is kind of here, and it's just a hodgepodge of.
Yeah.
It's it's not really set up yet. Really, yeah, I'm an original trilogy guy for sure.
Yeah.
Jabba. This was the first diorama I did was Jabba's setup.
That looks great.
And all I did was just a backdrop out of foam and the platform.
Yeah.
And then I made the Tusken Raiders Canyon.
Yeah.
Sand Troopers. Got the Emperor. It's some piece from the SH Figure Arts, the window back there. And then these two are really cool that I built this Bespin Cloud City one.
Fantastic. Actually, you know what? I didn't realize that was you. And when I first started, and I was like, how do I do this? Da, 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 da. That was one of the inspiration things that was on my board was actually your diorama of that.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah. It's funny because I didn't know anybody at the time, but as I just saw that, I was like, oh my God, that was on my inspiration wall. Yeah.
It came out so good, much better than I expected. It was so fun to photograph it.
Yeah. That's one of those things that not a lot of people have either. That's why I love that, to be able to shoot stuff like that.
It's funny. I saw some guy who in Facebook, one of the groups, completely copied it. Like it was great. It was like, that flattery is the best form of whatever. Well, now I lost the phrase, but anyway, I was like, wow, he basically built exactly what I built. It was nice.
Yeah. Oh, good. So what else? What's your next thing that you're going to do, or do you know yet?
Well, I want to do a Tatooine kind of townscape, a backdrop for that top shelf.
Yeah.
Like I said, I want to do Endor.
I love making indoor trees. That was one of my favorite things. I'll shoot you some recipes because that's really, really, really fun.
I watched one of your YouTube videos on that where you were painting it up and doing all the debris and everything. That came out great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
What's your favorite figure that you have now and why?
Favorite Black Series figure?
Yeah.
Boy, I always tell people it's the Gamorrean Guard because he's just a great figure.
Yeah.
The sculpt on that and the soft goods and just the beefiness and the extra weapons, and I think he was a deluxe figure when he came out. He was more expensive, but I think he's one of the best figures in the line. And I would say a Scout Trooper is a close second for me.
Yeah, for sure. I painted mine up because I wanted the weathered Mandalorian, whatever. And then I was sitting there like that was the first time I used my airbrushes when I spray painted my bike white. And I was like, oh God, am I doing this? Okay. I guess you can't have the indoor one if you're gonna have a Mandalorian shelf. So yeah, I'm in the market. But then every time I do that, then I go back and I'm like, what do you mean a speeder bike's like $200 now and you can't find it? Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, like, that's also the reason why I didn't have Cara Dune on any of my stuff is that I slept on her because I had to, cash was a little tight. So I had to kind of decide who I was going to prioritize, and I slept on her. And then the next thing you know, those figures were $200 or whatever. And thank you to you. For gifting me one, but she'll be in some scenes eventually. But I was like terrified to open her, and I was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe I have it!" So thank you again for that. So that was my gift from you for house sitting the Rancor, and it was very unexpected. And thank you so much. It really kind of ties in that shelf.
I thought I was like, I got to do something for Nate for taking care of this.
No, but we were going to try to hang out and do all that, and just with timing and work and stuff, that didn't work. So maybe next time we'll figure.
Next time, for those of you guys who are watching and don't know, I'm in the Boston area and Nate's in the New York area. So we're far enough where we can't get together, but not far enough that we won't ever get together. So
yeah, that's right. We'll have to meet in the middle somewhere and bring toys.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. So this has been kind of a blast. I need to kind of start wrapping it up.
Yep. No
But
problem.
I for sure want to do it more. And I think it'd be fun to have like a craft time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd
Just
be
let
fun.
the cameras roll
And
and do
let's
some.
just build stuff and talk
Yeah.
about geeky stuff.
Do you want to? Why don't you plug your sites or your social media
Oh,
before you go?
yeah.
Where
So
can people find you?
yeah, I am Nathaniel James 01 on Instagram, aka Carbonite Creative, and then the bio of in the bio has my links to my YouTube channel. I'm Carbonite Creative on YouTube, and my TikTok is Carbonite Creative. So I'm kind of on all platforms. There's a couple of Facebook groups that I'm a part of under the same name too.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
All
Uh,
right.
well, this has been fantastic. This will not be the last time we do this, and
Definitely not.
I'm sure we have to talk right after Kenobi. I'll call you.
Deal, man.
You text me when you're up and you've seen it, and I'm gonna have my coffee and run out. We're just gonna
Are
geek out to it.
Are you going to watch it earlier in the day? You said you're going to.
Well, I'm gonna do the old midnight thing,
Oh, really?
and
Okay.
yeah, that the next day I took the day off because I knew I'd be Obi-Wan Kenobi hungover. So I have to watch it like 15 times, and then I'm gonna post a few things I'm working on. They'll probably be all wrong after the show
Yeah.
comes
Oh,
out.
so
I
you're
was like,
prepping some.
Yoda wasn't in it.
I see. I see. That'll be
Yeah,
good. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
2 episodes, right? We get 2 episodes. So
Yeah, I'm so
pretty good.
excited. I'm like fine with like pushing it back, and you haven't been this excited. I mean, I'm stoked about Ahsoka. I'm stoked about Andor, but this is really kind of gonna be
Yeah,
fantastic.
this is the big one for sure. I
Yeah.
hope they don't botch it up. So
Yeah, something else that maybe just recently came out, but
yeah.
yeah, but still love it, and here we are.
All right. Well, we
I
could talk for a lot more longer, but I know you have to run. So
Yeah.
we'll say goodbye to Nate, everybody, and
All
find
right,
him on
guys.
Instagram. He's got some awesome stuff out there.
Thank you,
And
and we'll talk soon. All right,
yeah,
guys.
talk to you later, man.
Bye.
All right. All right. That was a lot of fun. So that was Nate from Carbonite Creative, and I encourage you guys to go check out his stuff. He is a very prolific creator of some awesome Star Wars pieces. And what I like about him is, like he said, he likes to focus on some of those smaller kind of scenes in the background that you don't. They're not the front and center main shot of the show, but it's the characters in the background and what they're doing. And he's got some awesome pieces for sure, like he showed you there. So, well, guys, I was going to. I think I'm going to wrap it up because we've only got a handful of people watching right now. And Kelly, if you're still on, I want to say hi to you and your kids. And like I said, my wife and us and our kids watched your video of you guys building that awesome Lego diorama. And that was fun to watch whenever that was, like a year ago or whatever. But still got your action figure here, obviously. Let me know when the shipping things lift from New Zealand, and I'll get him off to you. Anybody else? Any last questions for anyone? Anyone have any questions before we sign off? I'll give it a minute or so here. I've got to work on my shelf back there. I've got a lot of holes and gaps. Got a bunch of figures that are just kind of laying around. I got to set them up, but we'll get there. It's always a work in progress. That's how collecting goes. I just got the new Echo figure from Bad Batch and the new who's the girl, Omega. So those are my newest pickups right now. I'll probably share some more about those in my next pickup video at the end of the month, my 6 figures a month series. But anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you're catching this live stream later after it aired, feel free to put some comments down below. I can answer them. I can get Nate out here. He can answer them too. He's got a YouTube as well. But ask us questions about diorama building, display setups, any of that stuff. We love sharing about that and kind of inspiring other people to be creative. And with that, I am going to say, may the force be with you, and thanks for watching. And let's hope Kenobi is an awesome show. All right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.